to the evolution of my soul. My mind is alert. My heart is receptive. My next step is here and now. And so it is. Easter. Woohoo! The thing is, long before Jesus rose from the grave, long before Moses came down from the mount with the 10 Commandments, long before anyone can imagine, there was a consciousness in everything moving us forward. And we recognized the seasons, and as they changed, how those seasons impacted us. And when spring came along, it certainly felt like the perfect time of rebirth. It certainly felt like the time to reawaken. It felt like the time when something in us wanted to come forth. Certainly the agricultural time of life, when that was the big thing, it was about planting. But long before that, everybody knew when spring started to happen, you could feel it in your bones. The thing about this is, we can have that feeling any day. We don't have to wait for spring to feel it is a time of renewal. We don't have to wait for Easter and the speaking about how Christ rose from the grave. You know, one of the most interesting things about Jesus was he went around trying to teach that anyone had the power he had. But most folks didn't want that responsibility. They just didn't want it. So it was way easier to set up priests, because that's what they were doing in the Jewish faith anyway, is they had priests, intercessors, people who spoke to whatever that God was out there for us, when in fact, what it is it's within us. You know, did Moses get the 10 Commandments from some God out there, or was it from his higher self? Because each of us has a higher self speaking to us all the time. Every day, we have a higher self trying to remind us and tell us who we truly are, why we are truly here, what it is that is ours to do in the world. But then when we get caught up in the physicality of what we see and what we think is real, we get lost in that day-to-day of what's actually going on, going, well, these are the facts, this is what's actually happening. I love it when somebody comes and says, we need to be realistic. Okay, what is that exactly? What is exactly realistic to you? Because I guarantee you, I see it differently, and the next person sees it differently. That's why, even at Harvard Law School, they got a guy who runs through the first freshman class of law in a gorilla suit, who runs in, does something, and runs out, and then everybody's supposed to write down the facts the way they saw it, and what they learn is that everyone in the class saw what just happened differently, their experience of reality. But the facts are the facts. We have had tons of teachers come along to remind us that that just isn't true. The facts aren't the facts. The facts are how we perceive them. And our perception builds our beliefs. And our beliefs build our thinking. And our thinking sends out what we wind up creating in our lives. So it all starts from our willingness to go beyond, to wash ourselves clean of whatever we think we believe, whatever we think is true, to actually see something deeper, see something beyond. And Easter is a great day to do that. You know, the beauty of this day is that it is a reminder that, you know, spring is coming, newness is coming, the air gets a little fresher. Doesn't last long in LA, but, you know, you get it for this little bit. And we get to feel that sense of newness. And so through that, I have developed a ritual that is actually not that I developed, but is ancient as the day is long, and it's called anointing. Jesus anointed his disciples. Moses anointed people, because this is what we do. We remind ourselves as often as we can that there is a divinity within us that wants to emerge. There is something deep within us that wants to bring it to life. And many of us are more in touch with it than others, and that's great, but it doesn't mean there isn't deeper to dive. There isn't more cleansing to be done. My guess is as soon as you get as clean as you get, you move on. You go home. Transition. And so as long as we're here, there's work to do, there's play to do, there's expression to do, and the way we can express ourselves is we have to figure that out. We have to figure out what's within us that's looking to be expressed, and then make sure we take the steps to express it. And so the ritual I've developed for today, and again, when I say I developed, this is an ancient ritual. I didn't develop it, I just put it together for you guys, is simply a reminder for yourself of who you truly are. It's simply a way of bringing out, of making a stand. Because one of the things that I notice that lots of us do in life is we go, yeah, I'm divine. Okay, I'm divine. But, I got all these facts to deal with. Yeah, I'm divine, but that guy just cut me off in traffic. Yeah, he's divine too, but, it doesn't feel that way to me. And so making the kind of stand we need to make sometimes takes a little bit more than just saying to ourselves, I'm making a stand. And so rituals are really good for that. The Native Americans knew this. I mean, they were just so rich in ritual. I love Native American rituals. Sweat lodges, pipe ceremonies, vision quests. There's nothing to get you clearer than sitting out, I've done this, by the way, sitting out in the desert for 4 days and 4 nights with no shelter, no food, and no water. You get visions. I started to, you get a real clear picture of beyond the veil. It's a beautiful thing. So the ritual for today is not having you sit out in the desert for 4 days and 4 nights. We're doing something way simpler than that. And yet for some, it's difficult to imagine, which is we are going to anoint each other. We are going to say to each other, you have this consciousness that can rise within you. You have within you something that's special to express in the world. Jesus went around doing this. He would clean his disciples' feet. He would clean anyone's feet who would let him. He was like, I'm not special here. We are all special. We all have this within us to express. We all have this within us to bring forth the divine, to heal, to love, to forgive, to let go of the past and begin anew. He did his best to teach that. But most folks, they just don't want that kind of responsibility. And so you get to decide for yourself today whether you're up for holding the kind of responsibility to allow yourself to be anointed, to stand in that place of, I am a conscious being, a divine being on this planet, and I have something to express, to bring forth. I know that you do. That's why I developed this. That's why I put this together. You're going to get to do it right in your seats. You don't have to move a muscle. Well, you got to move a little muscle because you don't have to do a little thing. But from your seats, mostly. And you will get to experience what it is to rise right here and right now. I get up here week in and week out and talk about this stuff, but we do our best to want you to experience it, to feel it within yourself. This is an opportunity for that. This is an opportunity to experience somebody coming to you and saying, you are a divine being. Rise and let your dreams come true. You guys up for that? You're not sounding up for that. Are you guys up for this? That sounds a little bit more up for it. My dad died, must be 16 years ago now. And before that, I had for a very long time, after my grandparents died, in my dreams, met them on a bench where I would sit with my grandparents and we would talk about what's going on in my life. And that went on for years, decades, of having these dreams where I would get to go sit with my grandparents and just talk about whatever was new and exciting or going on in my life with them as if they were right there. It was the coolest thing ever. So when my dad passed 16 years ago, I just expected that him and I would do the same thing, meet and get to talk and continue our conversations about life and this, that, and the other thing like I had with my grandparents, because one of the things that happened when my dad died is my grandparents stopped coming. But my dad never came. And I'd been thinking about that and sitting with that for 16 years now. Like, what happened? I was so looking forward to that. And then Dad came to me last night for the first time. We got to be together. And I was so, I don't know if you've ever had this, but I got so emotional in my dream, I woke up. So I didn't get to really have the conversation I'd hoped to have with him because I woke myself up because I got so emotional about that. But I just thought, what an incredible day to have him come for Easter, for this day of renewal and rebirth. What an incredible day to have my dad show up like that, to remind me. And he looked great, by the way. He looked great. He looked better than I remember him for like years before he died. And he had this beautiful smile on his face. And it just reminded me what's possible. It reminded me of the depth of when we are willing to open ourselves up to something new, when we are willing to say, this is not all there is. There is something more going on here. There is something deeper, something richer, something wonderful going on, far beyond what we can explain, far beyond what we can understand, and yet beautiful in its essence. That's what's possible for each and every one of us. And that's the heart of today's ritual. The heart of today's ritual is that you will get to have your own personal experience of opening to what's possible beyond what you believe now. Because that's the kicker. You got to be willing to be open. You got to be willing to step a little further than you've ever stepped before to experience something you've never experienced before. I love new experiences. I live for them. And last night I got to have another one. And I am so grateful for that. My gratitude is just so deep that I got to have that with my dad. Who knows what you'll get to have if you're willing to open. So let's start out with the practitioners coming up here. No, I'm sorry. Let's start out with the band. I want the band up here in a line right here. Now, if this doesn't feel right for you when it's your turn, just pass. Just say, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. You really have that say and that right. So it's up to you. You get to handle this any way you want. There's a second part to the ritual. We'll do that after we're done with the first part. Actually, yeah, I'll talk about the second part when we get to the second part. How's that? One part at a time. All right. So you just take a little dip of oil, put it there. You are the anointed one. The power of the universe is within you. Arise and plant the seeds of your dreams. Now do this for the person behind you. Okay, practitioners, come on up. You are the anointed one. The power of the universe is within you. Arise and plant the seeds of your dreams. Do that with the person behind you.
You are anointed one. The power of the universe is within you. Rise and plant the seeds of your dreams.
Okay, Trish. Now take this one and start on the first row. Start with those ladies there. Just stand up. Susie. Take this and go do that row right there.
You are the anointed one. The power of the universe is within you. Alive and plant the seeds of your dreams.
Howard? Howard? Take this and this and go to go to another row. What did you do? I'll tell you what. Here, give me this. You go sit down. Put it there. Put it there. How many do I got? Yeah. Okay, good. Here. Go to a different row and get her going. Here, I got one for you, Howard. You got one. Go. Next row, wherever that is. Play. No. You give it over to her, and then everybody gets to anoint somebody else.
I close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting up for me. That I call.
We're not up to the seats yet.
Finding a groove.
Here, go sit down.
Through the
Yeah.
dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things that I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. So every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Okay. How was that? Good? All right. So the second part of this, thank you.
Been anointed?
No.
There is a circle, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
You are the anointed one. The power of the universe is within you. Arise and plant the seeds of your dreams, which I know you have.
Oh, thank you. You put it down there. All right. Excellent. And now it's time to plant the seeds of your dreams. So anybody who wants to can come up here. We have 4 different kinds of seeds and 2 different planters. Come up here. You want to do this with intention. Grab a seed, put a dream on it, and stick it in the dirt. Make a line in the center, whoever wants to do it. No one has to, and everybody's welcome to. Play, please. Do it with intention. Remember, this is your prayer. Just put it there. The deeper the intention, better chance of it coming true. These are your dreams you're planting. Start the song from the top. Just play it through again. Play it through the whole song. Play through the whole song. Sing. Yes.
Did you get anointed?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
I close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting for me, that I call but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things that I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care, so call us crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams, brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
We plant our dreams, making a stand for the highest and best for ourselves and the world around us, making a stand for what's good and beautiful and lovely, making a stand for goodness, for love. This is a day of rebirth. This is a day of renewal. It doesn't matter what went on before today. It starts fresh now. And that's the stand we make when we anoint ourselves and remember the divinity of who we truly are, when we make that stand of the highest and best for ourselves to bring that expression to life, because that's what we're doing here. We're working to bring our best expression we can to the world to contribute to the goodness, because the more people that do that, the more people who activate the love and passion within themselves and bring it forth, the better chance we have a world that looks like that. Janice, would you like to, because I'll bring it back to you. All right, I'm happy to bring it to you. All right. All right. We live in a world that needs all the love it can get. We live in a world that wants to break free and arise, and yet is like still stuck in its cocoon state. And when we're in that cocoon state, it's dark. It's gushy. It's not clear. You don't see a way. But it doesn't mean there isn't one. It just means it's beyond our view of the time. It just means we can't see beyond that ledge. You know, our earth is round. We can't see China, but it's there. There is something emerging because more and more people are coming alive to the fact that there is a divine nature in all of us. More and more people. This used to be, you know, when you think back on ancient times, there were the priests. There was a couple of folks who wandered the hills, prophets, and now there's just tons and tons. Facebook has really helped with putting across the inspiration for all to see and to feel and to try to somehow incorporate in our lives. And so today is a day of renewal. Today is a day where we can begin, where we recommit to that place of goodness, where we will stand for love in the face of it all. That's what we can do. And that's the power of rituals like this, is that we don't go down to the level that others tend to want to fall to. We are the ones that stand and rise. Are you with me on this? Yes. All right. I am so grateful for all of you and your willingness to do this particular ritual with us today. And I love you. Thank you. All right. Take out what you're going to give. Hold it in your hand. Doesn't matter whether it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, deeds of property, diamonds. It does not matter. What matters is that it's power, its presence. You unfold it, you hold it in your hand, and you know the truth that what you are doing is sending out into the world God essence that has to return to you multiplied abundantly. Let's say our affirmation prayer together. God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What you give returns multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.